All right, we're here. We're in the ultimate round, LobstercoM 2020. It's Dave Firth Bard's baby. In his third year, he's on the stream with us this round, commentating the final match. This is a win and in. These guys are both 5-1. Winner makes top 8. Loser might have an outside shot at top 8. We don't know for sure. We'll crunch the numbers after this. We have from Hawaii, the Dudes of Paradise, Dakota Martinez, and from, I believe, Dice City Games, Jimmy Cooney's stomping ground, Rubens Campana. I probably said that right-ish. Dakota is on a very De Silva-esque build. It's a blue-green-white Lions plus Terrandibs plus Urnums plus white removal plus no main deck Geddins. Geddins in the board deck. Rubens is on a 3-color, well, technically 4-color because he's splashing blue cards, but a black deck splashing bolts and white removal. He has a couple Sedge Trolls, Hymns and Juzams and Specters, oh my, all the usual suspects. These are tier 1 decks full of tier 1 cards and tier 1 players ready to knock it out to see who makes top 8, and we're off. We're ready to go here.
Let's go 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this match. It should be a just kind of a mid-range dudes kind of slugfest.
Yeah. Just like a pile of good cards.
I don't really think either deck is necessarily. I mean, without having the time to like break down their lists, completely. Out of hand, I wouldn't say either of them, is favored necessarily. It's just kind of, mid-range, kind of smash them up and see what happens.
I agree. I think gun to my head, I would probably pick Rubens just because of the Hymns.
Because him to Dwark is a good card.
But it's not a deal breaker. Neither person is a monster favorite. Maybe it's 55-45 or something. This is anyone's match. So let's see how it goes. Anything interesting about these lists before we go? The one interesting thing I noticed is that Dakota
They give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, I saw
is a man who's not exactly sure what he wants. He has a lot of 3-ofs in his deck. He has 3 birds, 3 lions, 3 dibs, 3 pixies, 3 swords, 3 Psyblasts, in addition to a few other cards, some disenchants, 2 Sarahs, 2 Urnums, and a pile of mana and restricted cards, etc. But a lot of 3s versus you could just shave one of those cards and play all 4s. So I don't know how I feel about that in general. But playing 3 of a bunch of different powerful cards is a nice way to mix up your games and add some diversity to what could be kind of a boring day otherwise. So I'm not against it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the reductions in creatures are making room for in this list. I mean, you got 3 birds, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have 13 creatures that fight. Total of 16 creatures.
So,
I mean, you've got 4 main deck disenchants. I guess that's something.
Well, no, but so compare this to De Silva deck. He's up 2 disenchants and one swords from that deck. That literally fills out the
3 spots right there.
And the
you also have 3 Psyblasts. That's a lot.
Those are Geddins, basically.
And Paul De Silva also runs Wheel, right? So
that could be it right there, right? Some extra. He shaves a few creatures to play some extra white removal and plays burn in the order of Psyblast over Geddins and has a Miser's Wheel. That's pretty much the difference. It's a very De Silva-esque deck minus the Geddins for the most part.
The Geddins. And I mean, this is like the definition of mid-range here. Yeah. You've got all this 1-for-1 removal. You've got individual efficient creatures that do that do a lot on their own. Yeah. And then you've got the restricted cards.
Good luck, man.
And both of these decks are doing that. They're both just a pile of good cards and good creatures splashing white removal for the most part. So this is it's a very interesting. They both went different directions with their creatures and the spells they chose. Him versus Psyblast and Pixies versus Spectre and whatnot. But it's like efficient creatures plus white removal.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's Rubens' library on the draw.
Is he playing a card here on the draw?
No,
he's not.
There's no way, right?
Tap your library.
Did he mull? I don't think.
Oh wait, maybe he mulled. Yeah.
I missed.
No, I don't. Well, we're about to find out.
Play a Lotus.
Okay. This could be the answer. Okay, there you go. Right. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, that makes sense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, he literally did mull and he kept library, Lotus, Wheel. That seems good to quite good.
Yeah, pretty good.
He would have been a lot happier on the play if Dakota didn't play Landmarks Lion.
Yeah, of course, right.
So I mean, Rubens is mildly favored here, but it's it's not a huge. He's not a huge favorite.
Yeah, I mean this. Now I go back and count how many outs Dakota has to library. Right, he's got a strip mine and a chaos orb and a demonic tutor.
I think that's it. Yeah,
that's it.
He's not of the DFB school of magic where you play that
a little light. Yeah, I would throw an ice storm in there or
that's just one of the added benefits of playing get in, right? Like it's just some free extra outs.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's
obviously
especially when you
card.
Especially you've got all these moxes and birds and stuff floating around. You can cast a get in, and turn 2 or 3, and not that you're necessarily getting on turn 2, but like if there's a library, maybe you are. If that's,
right. No, but you can use it as a glorified stone rain, right? Trade your lands and your get in for their library. It seems worth it. Like if he had 100%. Get in now, I'm pretty sure especially because he doesn't have to play the City of Brass, he just plays it and trades his Savannah for that library, right?
Yeah, 100. Yeah, you snap to that for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But with only 3 outs, he's got a. I mean, the other nice thing that he can do here is put on some pressure. There you go, 6 power. Like, what are you gonna do next turn? You gonna sit on library?
Exactly. And that's one way to beat library is you just flood the board with dudes and see what happens. And I don't think Rubens has any real mass removal of any sort. He plays 4 moxes, so we can accelerate okay, but he has no earthquakes or falling star or anything like that, or even he's 1 fireball, I guess.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to fireball for whatever 4-6 mana right now.
Right, unless he has Lotus.
Getting off library.
He already played his Lotus. You're right. He played Lotus on turn 1.
If he does that, he's off library and mission accomplished.
Exactly.
No, I'm gonna draw from the library right now.
So he's going to fall behind here by librarying and taking a bunch of damage, and next turn he's going to play something big theoretically and hope to, slow the tide a little bit.
Yeah, he's on the back foot. He can play a 3 or a 4 to try and stabilize. Well, Jet really freaking helps if you're on, him and Juzon deck.
Yeah, Jet is like arguably the best card in that deck.
Yeah, you love to see that.
Right, he didn't take advantage. He did not have the hymn to go with it, but it's still okay. Wait, he played. He drew up to 8 and played Jet and then Bolt. I think that's all he did. So I think he's still on library.
He's on 6. I think he's on 6. I don't think he comes off library.
No,
bolting
library. He's taking a lot of damage from the city, and so he's already down to 11. These Side Blasts, I feel like they're gonna probably win the day for Dakota at this point.
Yeah, all the cards in the hand in the world, aren't any good if you're dead, right? So
exactly.
I'll disenchant your black mox.
Disenchant Jet. Okay, that's interesting. In the dark, what has he played so far? In the dark, I probably
2 disenchants. Now
I'm like, why would he disenchant Jet over Sapphire? Even though we know the deck list, you should.
Right.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're feeling better about where Dakota is because
I like those plays. Nice cross shot of Dakota right here too. The thing he's wearing dark shorts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had some pretty generous crotch shots between today and yesterday. I don't know if you were on last night during the 1.5 match. We had an ample and
junk were we seeing? Jeffs
I would say a very fulfilling view of the Dread Pirates.
The Dread Pirate. Okay.
Yeah, his
because he has that plank, right?
Right. He has the plank, and he had it kind of riding, on his the front of his armchair, kind of, and then he was kind of splayed out behind it.
Right, just like spread out. Yeah. I get it.
Yep.
These bolts are single-handedly saving Rubens.
Yeah.
Without these bolts, he's long dead. He might still be dead, but
if I recall, it's the the Savannah, right? Okay.
Savannah.
I mean, the question is how.
How badly do you want to get in right now? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, the whole game. I mean, the question is how well is Dakota going to top deck from here? Basically, is he gonna, if he can draw gas for another 2 turns running, that's the game.
That's exactly it.
If he draws a blank, he's probably losing.
Does he have? He has Time Twister.
Okay, that's a good way to get some gas.
Go ahead.
I didn't see it. What happened here? Well, Brain
geysered for.
I was about to say, I was looking at his deck list and I stepped away from the stream. I was going to say he has Time Twister and Brain Geyser. Those are both pretty good.
That is a very timely way of refilling. That addresses the issue that I was just talking about.
I'm gonna draw with the.
Did he not attack? What just happened here?
Why? Yeah. Why is that lion not tapped?
He didn't have any mana to activate that factory. I know that much. So that's weird. I would have put him at 8, which puts him in 2 Side Blast range. So there's a reasonable chance that might be a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Why wasn't that lion?
Badlands.
Are we sure he didn't have 2 mana? No, right. He just had the factory. He had the factory up and no way to activate it.
Positive because he tapped the City Brass to bolt the Pixie last time.
Right. Yeah. Oh.
So that's a weird one. I mean, I guess he's just saying go here. Okay, but now he has factory up.
Yeah. I mean, Dakota also now has like 6 cards or something.
Sure, but I mean, it just feels like it's literally a free 2 damage, right? Like, and when you're playing Side Blast, putting your opponent at 8 matters.
It's a mandatory 2 damage.
Now he's attacking into like 500 mana.
Yeah, but now he's representing, right. Like some kind of burn spell or whatever.
Sure. Well, or like disenchant or swords.
I guess it's just Side Blast, right? So
he has all the white removal, right? So we can play any of those cards.
He's already used 2 disenchants.
He's probably just going to sword.
What are you going to do? Give him back 2 life?
I know, right? Like, I mean, it's he's going to give him back 3 life. Oh, the case disenchant.
3rd disenchant. Okay, sure.
Great. I mean, that's really lucky that was a disenchant out of swords. He got a great use out of that disenchant. Otherwise, approaching useless.
Try 2 at least.
And now Rubens feels kind of bad to waste the swords on a lion, but
I mean, maybe if I'm Rubens, maybe I wait a turn with that swords because he already spotted you 2 life. Maybe you just kind of like take your found money and see what else develops. I don't know.
The only thing is the difference between being at 8 and 10 versus a blue deck with Side Blasts. Speaking of the double, Jesus fucking Christ, he's going to lose because of this.
You go to 19, right?
I go to 19. Go ahead.
Balance. Does he have no cards? What does he have?
How many cards you got in hand now?
Oh, he's just saying go. Okay.
3.
Got 3? Is that what he just showed us?
I think he showed 4. I mean, it feels very obvious that he has the second Side Blast in his hand, right? Otherwise, why would you mean
that makes that lion thing all the more maddening.
Nice.
I mean, I get that it's it's tough on the stream. You're under the glare of the
of
course
the Friday night lights here, but
I'm gonna do
you got to attack with your lion.
3, 4,
oh God, if just don't have. I really am rooting for him not to have the Side Blast.
He's gonna hit the other Side Blast.
If he hymns it away, it's fine too.
It can be the one
Then he
you
wouldn't
keep,
have had it
let's say,
anyway.
then you keep that one and you can discard the others if you.
Nope. So none of that matters.
Bird's dead. Swords will be useful at some point, but not quite yet.
You don't. I mean, if you actually are holding the second Side Blast.
Yeah.
Rubens is well off of library at this point, right? Does he have like 3 in hand?
I think so. I'm not actually positive, though.
Just trying to get the contour.
He might still be on library. He really might be.
Contour of his grip. I don't know. I see 4 cards in his hand. The way he has them fanned.
And factory.
All right, this is a clear strip.
I'll go to combat.
Can't take this.
Second for 2.
I'll use the strip mine.
Like this guy, he doesn't know the deck list, right? Dakota could be on anything. He could easily have bolts in his City of Brass Birds of Paradise deck. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. He's at 1. Oh my God.
You got 1 card in hand, right?
1 card in hand.
Let's see what happens here. 17-1. No threats in play. 1 card in hand. All right. Yeah, he's clearly well off library. You're right at this point.
Gonna play juice.
Well, that's a clock.
Yeah.
I'm taking 1.
Can't tap that. Wait, tap the City Brass. Go to 0.
Oh,
he did it.
I'm gonna.
Yep.
Look at that.
Go up to 5.
5. That's insane.
It works, right? I see the FB.
It's actually insane, right?
Stack, right?
This is like that.
Those are the stacks.
So
Is it
you're
like
still gonna take the
For one of a
damage
nail,
from
the horse was
stack, right?
lost. For one of a
Yeah, no, but the
horse, the
city
soldier
damage
couldn't get to the
also
battle, and then
Yeah,
the whole
but you can't
battle.
respond to the city
I feel like I
damage.
should know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
The
but I
war. There's
don't.
like a
No,
whole
I can't,
quote
because
with
I think this is
that
kind of
these little
how
things
city
kind
works,
of
no?
compound
So you
and
would
add
be
up over the
applying
course of
Geodam
a
as an instant.
Yeah.
much grander
No,
I
situation.
mean, I feel like he would have been dead if he
Then
attacked with that
city,
factory,
The
right?
damage goes back,
No.
and then
You can do this, right? You can do this.
No,
I'm
so
going to tell them.
It
you
takes
can do
damage.
this.
You take damage
I think they're
upon
just
tapping
making sure.
instantly.
Yeah.
is that how it works?
Yeah.
Can one of the guys chip in here? Because I remember, like on Moldon, City of Brass always went on the
Yeah,
stack.
guys, this does work. You can swords with the City of Brass damage on the stack.
On the stack.
You can do that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mano.
All right.
Back to you.
6, yeah.
Which is crazy and counterintuitive,
No,
and I did not
because
know
I
that
clicked
for the
on
longest
the
time. Add it to the
five.
list of
Yeah,
rulings
the
I don't
damage
understand.
results
I mean, I do understand, but I wasn't aware of. Here, that you can put the city damage on it. Like if you're at 1 and they're at 3 and you have a city in play, you can bolt them and win. You know, it's crazy.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh my God, he's. And now he's going to start playing actual threats.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'm gonna Mind Twist for 2.
Oh,
mine isn't much of a threat, but 2 lands. All right. But like being at 5 is hard. He needs to draw like an angel or some legitimate creature here.
mhm.
Smells like you
Castle.
didn't. Okay.
How many turns in when you have the answer for library?
He didn't use it that long. He only used it like 3 or
No,
4 times.
he did have to come off of it, I think, because he was throwing all those bolts out.
Right.
Hippie.
Does Rubens have the disenchant in hand? Are we even safe to activate the orb here? Probably not, huh?
I mean, it doesn't matter a lot. If Spectre's not
Looking
taking
for 2.
cards, you can just probably take the damage for a couple turns.
Right, he's got
right?
nothing in hand.
I'll block the first.
Jump? Really?
You got any cards in hand?
0.
Protect your life total.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know.
Sedge Troll.
Okay, here come the bruisers.
And
Right.
I'll pass back
and
to you.
now he can fully regenerate and not tap his city.
Serendip.
Okay.
Okay, that's a card.
Go ahead.
Serendib attack is enough of a clock. Forward Serendib.
Gonna Swords the Serendip.
Okay.
Have a
Go up to 20. Take 5.
Go to 20.
Moving to combat.
Mm-hmm.
You just hit the Spectre at this point. I think it's kind of a big deal for your clock.
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably do.
What's Orb the Hippie?
Okay,
Hippie.
Oh man.
sure.
Oh, we just got
Touch
it.
I'm going to call it a
Yeah,
hit.
touch it, right?
It's a hit.
It is.
I'll leave it up
It's
to the
touching. Yeah,
judges.
it's a hit.
That's a hit.
It's
Got the sleeve, I think.
it's as close as they come.
You
It's
gotta
a,
call it right. You gotta call it hit. The pressure, the round 7 feature match pressure lights on affecting Chaos. So this is something you don't see in mainstream Magic. Sweaty palms on the Chaos Orb. You know,
yeah.
you don't.
Especially- Did you get to those later rounds, or God forbid, like top 8 or something? Like
That's what I mean. This is it, right? It's top. This is for top 8.
accuracy rates fall, and suddenly something that's rote, like you're thinking about it, you care about it, and it's a much different ballgame.
Let me see here.
Shoot.
Yep.
Back to you.
Just mute this.
Forest Walk.
The Hippie.
So attack. I really want to go back in time because now I'm kind of questioning whether or not he had a free Savannah Lion hit. I'm fairly confident that he did, but I'm not 100%.
Right? Did we hallucinate that? Like, are we completely thinking about this the wrong way? Like,
That's
did
what
we
I
miss
mean.
something?
there's a world where we are. Oh my god! He drew them all.
Down to 1 again. I have a 30.
He drew all 3. The guy's at 1, and now he's giving Forest Walk to the hippie, I guess.
He can't attack with anything at this point. I feel like you might want to hold that. He might tap that City of Brass for something, given you've played two Side Blasts.
Yeah, right.
But now he has no more direct damage, so he needs to find a way. I mean, Swords works. Swords attack is enough.
Swords Neutral attack is enough, yeah.
Factory.
All right, Factory is a start.
Factory is good, yeah. He can't attack you with the hippie anymore.
I'm just considering you're keeping
right, exactly.
him with the Forest Walk.
Of course.
What's the die on the hippie? It's just
for fun, I think. I don't think it does.
hanging out.
Yeah, I highly doubt
no,
it.
It's Forest Walk. It's Forest Walk.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
The Forest Walk marker.
I don't think it has 5 counters on it of any sort.
It's Forest Walk. That's all.
Rubens has a full grip of 4 cards. Like, he might just have like hymns and useless shit at this point. Like, what's in his deck? Let's see what he could possibly have.
3.
Because he would have swords. Oops. Would have swords that troll that Urnham at this point had been attacking. I guess Bolt does nothing. He could have Bolt. All of his creatures he would cast except for Juzam, so he can't cast Juzams now. But that's another reason to hold on to the Side Blast, right? He might play a Juzam and then you win if he plays Side Blast.
Mm-hmm.
Or then you win if he actually casts it.
Yeah.
May I?
All right, the old demonic tutor for Ancestral. Seen it a million times.
I mean, is it Ancestral here? Or is there something more targeted that would actually specifically advance the
So this is a problem. This is a hole in my game. If he has a 4 of that helps him here, I would just still get the Ancestral.
Ancestral, sure.
I would always get it. And I don't
4
know
of that he hasn't seen, like he's only seen 1 of to this point. I mean, we're pretty far into this game.
Right. I mean, the only cards like Balance isn't even good here. Juzam does nothing. Creatures don't do a whole lot. Swords doesn't do a lot. It has to be Ancestral. It just has to be.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Why is he even playing it face down? He's just going to tap that
Take
C.
the card here. Ancestral myself.
In those situations, I just throw it on the table face up and cast it.
It's not a secret.
Right. We all knew what was happening.
And
He's a little low on mana. So if he draws like a Swords here, probably wins the game. Savannah, arguably the worst card in Old School.
That's why I sold my Savannahs. That right there.
Exactly.
Always happens.
Ultimate moment. Need a big rip. Oh,
yeah.
Savannah.
Forget this card.
Fucking vomit. Exactly.
Library?
Oh, is he on Library now after Ancestral?
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus
right.
Christ.
Yeah. I forgot that Library was even there. Yeah, that is a much better reason to cast Ancestral than
right. Even without it, that's just like, I mean, call it a tiebreaker. But either way,
God, this is immensely frustrating. I can't even. I'm literally. I'm going to go back and watch this and make sure that.
I think he had. I'm almost positive. I would actually bet a lot. I would bet a ton of money on the fact that he had a free attack with a Savannah line.
Did that turn the entire game?
Right, that one turn.
Time walk.
Sure.
Okay, time walk. Right. He has regrowth, theoretically. He could regrow his Psyblast, probably. He could play Time Twister. Those are really his only outs at this point, it seems like. Because I presume Swords won't do it at this point.
I'm going to bolt you.
Bolt you to 6. Okay. Take my time walk turn.
Yep.
I could see him winning with a City of Brass bolt on the stack.
Yeah, right.
Although he's already drawn 3 bolts. Like, he probably doesn't have the Keith bolt, but I guess who knows.
And we've seen about like half deck so far.
Well, this is another example. Like, this is just an example of not drawing a lot of lands, right? Like, Rubens barely drew any mana. He drew the 5 mana he needed to cast all of his shit, and that was that. and Dakota has a million lands in play and has not libraried or anything once, right?
Does
He brings
Dakota
guys-
have regrowth for that?
I'm gonna activate the library.
I assume he
first.
does,
What?
right?
Okay.
He must.
Let's pull that up. Yes, sir, he does. So there's that.
That's one of his outs, regrowth. It seems like regrowth, balance. It's probably it. I don't even know if he has balance.
Another Sedge troll.
Nice.
Has Dakota cast Mind Twist yet?
I don't think he plays it.
you.
Does he play it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He does. He
And I'm
does.
passing back to you.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Just at least rip Mind Twist and nuke his hand. It doesn't, doesn't solve the problem, but at least, takes Rubens off of his personal howling mine.
Right.
This is painful.
It doesn't really like the game's over next turn unless he ripped regrowth or balance, right? So I guess Time Walk buys him a turn, but nothing exciting. He's tapping mana. Something could happen here.
Factory.
Holy shit. Oh no, he's just animating his factory.
Mhm.
He's just
One
full bluff attack.
I'm gonna regenerate the one that blocked the Ernum.
Okay. And that's two.
That's almost kismet that he drew a line on this last turn, right?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna attack
Ugh.
him.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope so badly that I'm wrong.
Very intense,
Yeah.
right?
Not that I'm rooting for anyone, like
No, not at all. But
Yeah, I was
you
pretty
know,
sure that
you just don't want to see, like-
you root for good play, and
the,
guys
the wheel
it-
was like
playing their winning ends.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
not
just gonna
missing
go for it
crucial
because
things
you
like
had a
that.
really good start for.
I like
that
the
are almost.
first part. I liked his disenchanting the moxes. In general, I liked what he was doing. I think it was just a brain fart, maybe. Like he just wasn't. He saw a factory and he was like, "Oh, I guess I can't attack." But he didn't realize he couldn't activate it. That could be that. All right, you want to look at these sideboards? Let's see.
100%, yeah.
Rubens has, I guess, probably a Mazavith comes in. Oh, he has 2 falling stars. Those probably come in against birds and lions and pixies. Oh my. Probably the 4th sword. So that's 4 cards. What comes out? Probably Solkanar,
Yeah.
some disenchants. Probably you can shave a disenchant.
Maybe
You could maybe
looking at the top of his curve.
you can maybe shave like Juzam when you're racing, right?
I'd rather cast the
I
Singular
have to step
Vampire
up for
than
1 second.
Of course, man.
Use
Of
on
course.
probably.
Juzam. I think I would. I think you have to bring in Maze and 2 falling stars and swords. So you cut Solkanar, 2 disenchants, and maybe 1 Juzam, one of his 2 Juzams or something.
Sounds
Let's
right.
see what Dakota has.
Dakota, please bring in some Armageddons.
Oh, he has 4 psychic purges, which are good, but not as good.
I don't love Psychic Purge here because there are no X1 guys to kill,
Yeah,
and Dakota also isn't really burning him out necessarily. Like we saw the extreme example where you see all 3 of your Psyblasts in the game in the top half of your deck.
I know.
That's not going to happen again. I think I'd leave Psyblast, or what do you call it, Psychic Purge out.
So maybe you just bring in these control magics.
Control magics, yeah. Control magics is a slam dunk.
Blue Blast, the artifact removal is irrelevant. Geddon seems pretty bad in this mid-rangey mirror. Maybe
He wanted to get in that game, but that's not necessarily a reason to bring it in.
Right. What's actively bad in his deck? Like Pixies aren't that great. It's Disenchant's pretty bad. He can cut 2 or 3 disenchants.
He's got 4 main deck disenchants.
Right, I would cut 2 or 3.
He used 3 of them, and they were all good in that particular game in that situation. But
so Rubens actually drew more mana than we thought originally because he got 2 of his Moxes.
But he killed the Moxes. Yeah.
But either way, I think you easily cut 2 disenchants here. That's 2 disenchants for 2 controls. And then maybe you want to bring in like one get in or maybe one purge for like shave a couple cards. But that seems like the sideboarding to me.
Yeah.
Nothing super fancy. Just the shave for 3 or 4, cards that make the matchup better. Again, what these mid-rangey, quote unquote mirror matches are kind of all about. You have no haymakers. There's no energy flux that you can draw. A Blood Moon, although to be fair, Blood Moon would house both of these decks. Just fucking destroy them.
Yeah, 100%. Right, like unless you're hitting your Mind Twist, you're hitting your library, you're getting that Brain Geyser that really should have done it. For Dakota there early-ish in that game. All right. While they're shuffling up, I'm going to take like a 20-second. Be right back.
All right.
You're good. I'll hold the fort. If you're wondering what Dakota's doing right now, he's for cuts now in these online tournaments. A lot of times we break the deck up into it's really sad that we have to do this, and it's like because of all the fucking asshole cheaters in the world. But like sometimes we'll do this. We'll break our deck into 3 parts and label them 1, 2, 3, and our opponent will say the order of putting the cards on top so that we can't cut our deck ourselves, or we have to cut on camera just to make sure that nobody's cheating. It's fucking brutal, but sadly, there's people in this world that feel like it's necessary to cheat at online old school Magic for no prizes and no nothing because, who knows what their reasons are. But it's not great, Bob, at all. And that's why we're here. That's why we're breaking up into 3 packs or 3 piles. So Dakota's cut and ready to go. Rubens still shuffling, doing the same thing. 3 piles. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go 3, 2, 1, top to bottom.
3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, English is not my first language, so I have to think about everything.
And we're off.
You're doing well.
So Dakota won that first one, not on the back of him to Torok at all. Like I kind of thought that would be, or I guess he did. To be fair, he did him away a swords and a bird earlier that kind of mattered, but it wasn't like the haymaker I thought it would be, mostly because he didn't draw them. Oh, and Dakota's mulliganing right now on the play. Rubens keeping. I love Rubens' deck. I think Sedge Troll in general is a card. A lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I think Sedge Troll is a card that is underplayed in general in just like various good stuff decks. When I played Spice Rack when actually Dave and I, we both played slightly different versions of Spice Rack at the first LobsterCon in 2018. And I won it, and Dave went 6-1 and like finished like 5th with like a very similar decks. I played 3, maybe 4, I think 3 just main deck Sedge Trolls, just as like generic awesome cards in the deck, and I fucking love them. And I feel like Sedge Troll in general is not played enough in various 3-color shells that can afford to play it. It's just a generic good card. And Rubens obviously agrees because he could be playing more Juzams or other cards in these spots, and he chose Troll for a reason, And I think he kind of subscribes to that school that says Troll against some decks is just absurd. And I think it's a little bit underplayed outside of traditional Troll Disco decks. Dakota mulliganed while you were gone, Dave. Dakota mulliganed. Rubens kept 7. And I believe Dakota's thinking about his 6 right now.
Thank you. I was going to ask, what did I miss?
Yeah. That's the best reason to step away from anything at this point, right? You can come back and sing that. All right, it looks like he kept 6.
Keeping 6, playing the City of Brass.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, he played the city before he put his card on the bottom.
Yeah, sure. I
like that one.
Play a Mox.
Astral.
Pixie go.
Play a Pixies.
So you're way ahead of me. I'm gonna.
Pixies also. Oh, am I? Shit, sorry.
I'm gonna reload.
You... Okay. Yeah, Pixie's also a card that's kind of medium in this mirror. I think maybe you cut that for a purge or 2, just to keep him off balance, right? Like just seeing a purge in this game, he wins this game, and Rubens sees a purge, he has to sideboard extremely differently going into game 3, right? Just like So while I agree with you, Dave, that Purge is not great, maybe siding in 1 or 2 just to mix it up and keep Rubens off balance might be worth it, just as like shenanigans, right, to trick him going forward.
Just a random kind of gotcha.
Like
psych him out a little bit.
Exactly, psych him out. Exactly. What if he gets him's a Purge early in this game? What does he do in game? He probably takes out Spectres in game 3, right? You know,
right. If he hymns a Purge in this game, you board them the F out of there for game 3.
You can't board all 8 out. Like you can't just board the hymns out, but you can board out.
Board the Purges. I'm saying if you get him with a Purge.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. You yank that sucker.
Exactly. It's the old hooked him with the force spike,
yeah,
boys, and then just pull it. Exactly. So we did bring in Maze, like we said. That felt no-brainer-ish against Serendibs and Urnums and Saras.
And like 3 land destruction effects main deck.
Right. And that's a liberal 3, right? Like the demonic tutor,
like this. Yes,
not
stretching
really a land destruction spell, right?
You always got to carry 5, man.
I think you can just play a naked troll here. I'm sure that's what he's thinking about. Just play it. It's pretty clear he doesn't have. I guess he has. I guess he has Psy Blast. So maybe you don't. Maybe he just doesn't have. He's probably right.
I'm up to 7 now.
I would feel real bad to get your troll, especially when there's no clock, right? Just just wait it out.
I'm gonna pass back to you.
All right, go.
I have 7 cards. Good beer.
What are you drinking right now?
This is a plain old Ballast Point Sculpin.
Nice.
It's out of San Diego. It's just a good IPA.
Drop.
Okay.
I've never been a beer snob, but I'm hooked on these because Lemke of Team Sped fame is an insane beer snob, and I'm hooked on all these frou fancy double IPAs.
I was gonna say that is where's that one from?
Who the fuck knows? I don't know. It's a wrench. It's called a wrench. It's from Industrial Arts Brewing Company, but it's some like maybe PA.
Oh, that's one of those like upstate New York kind of boutique.
Might be upstate New York. It could easily be.
Uh-huh.
It's only available like right around in the tri-state area for the most part. But like they're all kind of similar to me. All these fruity double IPAs are right up my alley. And I've been a Budweiser like fucking Yingling / Narragansett / Bud Ice man my whole life, you know. And finally, I've seen the light. Well, I moved on. I'm drinking a random.
Yeah, I mean it's not. Yeah, it's not necessarily better. It's just different. I feel like
maybe that's part of it, right? At some point,
when it comes to beer.
You drank enough Budweisers.
Yeah, well, and at some point you drank enough frou IPAs, right? My pendulum has swung back to kind of more basic stuff.
Yeah,
I still drink a lot of just like I got like a plain old Pilsner that I from New England that I really enjoy.
Yeah. So Rubens has library again. It feels like Dakota has a fistful of removal and 4 and 5 drops. So the only way this game ends in his favor is with Time Twister or Mind Twist at this point, or maybe Balance, I guess. Because Rubens has, while he's been playing a lot of mana sources, they've all been lands. So, like, Balance would be pretty good here.
Mm-hmm.
Although he does have that bird, which we saw a match earlier where Slanfan kind of was playing against a pile of impressive creatures, and by impressive creatures I mean killer bees enchanted with Aspect of Wolf.
That was so fun. I'm so glad that we did that one.
Balance was not an out because he had these 3 Wall of Earths just sitting on the ground, so Balance was good for him. And this is not quite that, but it's like, a baby step of that, and that Balance doesn't quite kill the Spectre. What is this, Urnum?
I'll control magic. You're a hippie.
Just like we said, control magic. Okay, that's one way back. I guess he has Maze, but maybe he has his. Although if he had Strip, he probably would have stripped the library. So it's pretty clear he doesn't have Strip.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't Strip.
Again, Armageddon. Holy shit!
Armageddon is a card in the format.
Armageddon. It kills Maze. It kills library. It kills factory. It only kills 2 of his own lands. It would be an absolute.
I'm basically addicted to casting Armageddon. Can I tell you this? Like, I love that card so much.
Please tell me more about it. I'm maybe not as addicted to you, but I'm in a similar boat in that I try to squeeze it fucking everywhere.
Well, I'm loving it in Singleton, even though you might not necessarily see it that often. But when you get like guy Armageddon, it's just like, oh, I guess I win.
Yeah, and by guy, you mean Banalish Hero, Mesa Pegasus, Armageddon. To speak a little bit to the all things that I did with Lan and Herberholz this week.
I was so mad.
I wanted to talk about banding a little bit, but I forgot. I got sidetracked. But I know you're a banding aficionado, and they were talking. They were throwing shade at the Banalishiros of the world, and I know you were feeling it.
Banning solves all your problems. Banning shores up your matchup against mid range, and in the singleton formats where everyone just kind of level 0 is like kind of good stuffy piles of like all the good creatures that cost like 4 and 5.
Right.
If you're attacking in with little dudes, like they play whatever, a Sarah Angel and Urnimjin something, and you have banning creatures, they didn't stabilize. Like you still have favorable attacks. Exactly. You can keep going.
Right. Trade your 1/1 for their Serendib or their Sarah Angel or whatever.
That's how banning works.
I've been on the receiving end of that. Let me tell you, it does not feel good trading Mesa Pegasus for
actually. I was on the receiving end of that recently as well. My opponent was playing mono green and had like Timberwolves and Pendelhavens online, and I kept punting, like not seeing the Pendelhaven on board or not thinking. I'm like, oh my god, this is how it feels like. Like
this is what it feels like to get Timberwolf Pendelhaven out of a tournament.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, that's actually, it feels sort of unfair.
Taste of your medicine. Speaking of Timberwolves, that's a card that you think should be in Herberholz's red-green singleton deck, right? Like that feels like a no-brainer to you, right?
Timberwolves, yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, and Argothian Pixies, by the way, that's a card.
Well, I mean, he admitted that as much, right? Like that's just he didn't even know existed.
But Timberwolves is a good one drop.
You always need more ones in this. Yeah. Oh, that seems important. Blue Blast on Fireball. Okay. Are you behind again?
Oh, I just saw it.
Okay, Blue Blast on Fireball. He basically tapped out for that Fireball. This is a turn that Dakota could turn the corner if he could do anything reasonable this turn.
He just has to.
He's a way to kill that Spectre to attack and get him off library. There's a bunch of things that can happen.
Getting some profitable attacks, like
it might just be as simple as attack with Serendib and play Sarah Angel, or attack with both and play Sarah Angel. That might be enough to turn the corner. Who knows? It feels like he has angels, right? Because he's been sitting around on a pile of cards for a long time. It's not removal because he would have killed the Spectre.
Right.
Maybe he wouldn't have because he's hiding behind the maze, but either way, Time Walk would also be absurd here.
Were you offering the hippie trade here?
I think he is, right? I mean, Swords Maze. Swords the hippie.
And then I'm gonna
I did not think that was what was happening.
I feel like you want to keep that hippie around because you're drawing live to disenchants, which you probably have a couple of in your...
I think he's probably thinking, I'll keep the Dib around. I've got this maze. The Dib will eventually just kill Dakota. All things being equal. But there's the reason why you don't, right? Is because you
could smell that Sarah from a mile away. He said go on the turn 3 for like 5 turns with 3 mana. You knew he has 1, possibly 2 Sarahs. You knew that was coming.
Okay, that's your graveyard.
It's just like, again, library is just that's just it. It's library.
I mean, if you're coming over from a 4-strip meta, if you usually play EC or Pacific or whatever, and you are, dipping your toes into Atlantic, you got, I don't know. My rule of thumb is always carry like 4.5-ish land destruction effects. No matter, it doesn't matter what they are.
Strip Mine, Demonic Tutor, some kind of Stone Rain, Ice Storm, Sinkhole effect, and maybe a second one of those, or maybe a Get It or something.
I mean, it can be so many more things, right? It can be Bottle. It can be Blood Moon. It can be, all the colors have their own kind of unique ways of dealing with lands that synergize also with what that color does. And it's fun to see those things, but you gotta use them. You gotta have your main deck Armageddon basically if you're playing like that.
I feel like in a deck with a pile of birds and moxes and quick creatures. Yeah, this he just terrored the angel. All right, so this is just over, right? Okay.
Terror. I love to see terror.
You're at 16. I have you at 17. Did I?
When you were talking, I'm assuming you saw this, but Dakota just got his whole hand mind twisted away. So that's that.
I went to 17 for the
full mind twist.
Okay.
The terror is the
no, it's all right.
Cherry on top.
The only out here, I mean, I guess Ancestral's a mini out. Time Twister is really what he's hoping for here.
Pass turn.
Again, good Lord, Armageddon. Every turn, like since turn 3, he would have given his left nut to draw on Armageddon. It feels crazy that he's not playing any main deck Geddons. What is that? Oh, Juzam. Like, what is Black 2? Oh, yeah. The best creature in Old School.
Okay.
The best art in Old School, I should say that much.
Affect my visit when the darkness comes.
Yeah.
No, when the night comes, darkness is.
Look behind me to my left. I have Juzam on canvas behind me.
Yeah.
Not the original art.
And the sex monkey over the other shoulder. Perfect.
Yeah, because the original Juzam is probably worth it's probably seriously worth a stick at this
19,
point.
right?
It must be worth about $1 million, I would imagine.
There is probably someone out there who would pay that.
I mean, it's definitely mid 6 figures, and I think at this point, somebody somewhere who just is sitting on a pile of money and loves
some rich
Magic
nerds for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. A lot of especially nowadays, a lot of these 40-ish-year-old nerds who now have tech companies and are worth 9 figures don't give a shit about spending $800 on Juzam Jin. So
yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna strip mine your.
I wouldn't. If I had a tech company, I could believe you me, I would own fucking Juzam Jin. I can tell you that much.
I'm gonna strip mine your City of Brass, yeah.
Okay.
Strip City, so it's 4 permanents to 9 plus a full grip of 7 cards.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez. Balance or me? Balance.
Sorry,
or no?
everyone. Yeah, right. He can't stop a balance, right? So
right. And honestly, balance doesn't do it because he has the bird. Again, we've seen balance been so medium because he'd love to kill that Juzam, but he gets to keep the Juzam if he balances, and it just doesn't matter. Oh man, I feel like our first 3-ish matches were like
jump block, give yourself the out to use balance.
Right. Of course. Now balance is absurd.
Yeah, I know the factory's around though.
Right, I guess factory's pretty, but he keeps factory in a couple of lands. He loses. It's his best draw. Factory into removal spell or blocker. That's it.
I'm gonna play Sedge, throw, and pass.
All right, here it is. Tutor for balance. Tutor for balance. He's thinking. Ew. Ew. Buys him a turn to tutor for balance next turn at least. So
right. Rubens having himself a think here.
He's like, how could I possibly fuck this game up?
Right. I'm dominating in every phase of the game. What to do? What? Casting for 3 mana.
Another troll, I guess? I don't know.
Why is it there?
Let's not tank this hard. Let's go. Just play your spell.
I'm gonna Falling Star the Serendip just to tap him, okay?
Oh, he's Falling Star.
Tap your dude, swing for a bunch. Why do we have to think about that? All right, here we go.
Maybe you want to spend 2 cards to kill a dib, maybe.
And attack for 10.
Or he's just tapping it. He's just tapping it.
No, yeah, he can't kill it. He's just opening the door to attack for 10.
Well, no, maybe he has a bolt too. But like at this point, if he has bolt, he's dead, so it's irrelevant. So bolt you.
You
dead?
Doesn't have another red mana.
Wow.
You could also. Oh no, it doesn't matter because Serendip.
Untap my upkeep. I kill you.
Right. Balance? I mean, balance doesn't even do it.
Man.
Yeah.
What do you draw?
Heartbreaker.
And
Swords.
it wouldn't have given me the points to.
Oh man, I don't want to go back. I don't even want to go back to the videotape. I don't want to do it.
We'll be.
Let's pretend this never happened.
Monday morning quarterbacking this one. Nice to watch a cool matchup.
Right, the cards. These were iconic old school cards. You know, again,
This one was
neither of
best
these
of
are
the
like
round.
full-on tier 1 deck lists, right? They're piles of good cards
Yeah, I
arranged in
have
a
lot of
slightly different
sideboard
way,
defense to
so they're at least
recommend,
a mildly interesting,
with the terror
albeit
and the
full of
falling
you
stars and
know,
stuff like that.
absolutely amazing tier 1 cards, but still a good matchup
Do you run like
that
the black
you know
splash?
could have gone
I
either
was
way.
worried that I'm gonna get mine
Absolutely.
twisted, and then you put.
Well, I think now we have
I
we're
went
going to
for
take
the
a
factory
break
because
from
I
the
thought you could
stream
get
for
my
a little
king if
bit,
I
but
got mine
don't go
twisted.
away. This is the end of the rounds for the day, but we are going to announce top 8 before
So the only
taking
thing
down
I
the
really put
stream.
in against you was control magic and
So we're
I do have to say that we're not used to having top 8s on this side of the pond.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's actually pretty cool,
Control Magic
and I
is
do
a
think
great
that
card again.
something I haven't been pricing in
I
to
was
top
going to,
8s in
Fireball
general
with both
has
guys,
been
and
the
then Swords,
announcement
the
of the
other.
top
I
8.
had the keys.
That is an amazing few moments for those people on the
Really
cusp.
nice.
You know,
Really cool games,
it's
man.
awesome, and I think that's something we might not be giving enough value to, like just actually announcing it and hearing those people. Again, we're not in person. Sadly, we're over the freaking internet. But like in real life, seeing those people excited to make top 8 is a real thing. It's real value.
Yeah, right. Before you post like the
I
actual
went with
standings,
Spirit
Yeah,
Games,
you
and
read
I
them
took
off.
out the juice
read them off
I
and
took out one of them.
make those guys who are
You
X2
being
or
on the
whatever
play, sometimes you have very good starts.
let it out.
I'll never forget. I think
But,
so.
yeah,
Jamie
I'm not sure
made
if
the
that's
top
right,
8 of
because
a
we
Pro
sold good
Tour
against
like
their
the last time he
nominations.
played, whatever, 5 years ago during the summer of Park. He made it as the 8th seed at X and 4, the only one to make it in. And I've never seen him more excited in his entire life. You know, it was like pure, to quote Seinfeld, it was Billy Mumphrey-esque, a pure unadulterated joy. I've never
Joy.
seen
Yeah,
anything like
also I
it.
think
You
that
know?
you played like
that's
you
heartwarming.
couldn't go to 5.
It really
like
is, and like
turn
we're missing
one,
out on that by not having top 8s. You know,
Pixies, right? It's not a
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean,
a hand that makes
we
you
had the
go
opportunity
five.
here to do an experiment to see what a cut to top 8 would be. You know, chose deliberately to make it a day 2 so everyone could stop looking at their computers after having been on for 8+ hours already
Very
today.
interesting game.
exactly.
I
So
thought you
yeah,
could also
we'll take a break
balance
here.
at one point
We'll
there.
come back and announce top 8,
Really
and then
bad
the top
spot
8 for LobstercoM will start tomorrow around like 10:15, 10:30 in the morning. The stream will be back up. It's 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, and
Yeah,
we
because
will
I know you're
we'll
not
have
on a
three
balance there. I think you are
three top 8
certain
matches
percent.
to watch.
We don't
The
wanna
other thing
miss-
that's the other thing that I'll say right now, and I'll say again when we read off top 8, is we're not going to do the raffle drawing today because for some weird reason something funky happened with the platform, and we had like downtime where it wasn't taking money from like 11:30 this morning until 4 or something this afternoon. So we're going to give people a little bit more time to buy raffle tickets to make sure that we didn't leave any money on the table. Make sure that people who wanted to buy the raffle tickets are able to actually do that before we do the drawings tomorrow during the top 8. So there's still time for those of you who, I don't know, haven't done that yet for whatever reason.
I'm sure you're going to get a bunch more. We're going to get a bunch more tomorrow in the top 8. I guarantee it's worth us for sure.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I think we're doing a great thing for the charity. So thanks to everyone who's been a part of this and contributed so far. All right, so we'll break for I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes to crunch the round 7 results and make sure they're in the system. We'll get our stuff together and then we'll come back and announce the top 8.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
It's kind of stupid, yeah.